the big news in the last couple of hours is probably around Arne Engels. Massive news.
Massive, yeah. I mean, 3 bids from Nottingham Forest, 17 million. They went in with first, rejected, 20 million, booted out. The third one was for 20 million with
5 added
so
on.
was it 14, 17, 20? And then the 20 had, a 5 million add-on as well, which Celtic could have achieved. And all 3 of them were kicked into touch almost instantly. I think Celtic will have done that through gritted teeth, because these are the sort of deals and sort of figures that they love. But they've basically Tom McKean'd themselves. So they've got themselves boxed in, and they've had to kick out every bid going. I actually wonder, by the way, it'll be interesting to see what the Celtic fans out there are thinking about it, because this Celtic board is not popular, as we know. I wonder if there's Celtic fans out there that will protest against the board for not taking 25 million for Arne Engels. But Burnsy's obviously been all over it as well. What are you hearing, Scott?
Just heard, obviously in the last few minutes, that the player is now at the stage where he's quite unhappy about the situation. The fact with the numbers now being floated about or put on the table, it's like substantial profit for Celtic for the money they've made. And as it stands, I think the player's a bit frustrated that he hasn't been given the green light to talk to Nottingham Forest at this stage.
It's a sort of a Dyson Maida situation, potentially.
Yes. Kyogo before that, you name it.
Yeah.
Seems to happen every transfer deadline day.
Well, this is the problem with breaking your model, because when the promise is, come to us, we'll give you a couple of years, showcase yourself, and then we'll let you move on when we get a sort of acceptable fee. There's no one telling us that £25 million thereabouts is not acceptable for Arne Engels. I would have thought before Nottingham Forest popped up today, Celtic might struggle to get the money back in Arne Engels. To more than double it, I think it's an extraordinary deal. And now there might be the potential, if what Burnsy's saying is correct, that this sort of leaks into the second part of the campaign if Arne Engels is forced to stay against his will.
Do you know the only thing I would say, and it'd be good to get the guys' take on this? I completely agree that, and Marzuno says in the comments, it's knocking back 25% of their annual turnover at Celtic, 25 million. But what I would say is, Mick, I get that Celtic fans, and a lot of them in the comments are already saying, take it. But is there any point if they're not going to buy an adequate replacement? I mean...
Well, this is the issue for Celtic. Listen, by the way, I'm just hearing right here now that they finally confirmed Junior Adamu has now been confirmed in the door, the striker. So that's one that's nailed down. Expect Joe Mavuka to follow very shortly. But in terms of Engels, I mean,
Mick, while we're there, we've been there. I've just had a message through. I also expect Benjamin Arthur to sign from Brentford. Just got confirmation there that deal is very much a goer. And I actually think he's very highly rated by the people at Brentford. I have heard comparisons made to a young Van Dijk. Granted, I don't know if that's Virgil or Dick they were talking about, but
his agent said
that. No, actually, people who are familiar with the setup at Brentford, they've got real high hopes for this boy, albeit I don't think he's played a minute of Premiership football, has he? Premier League football.
He's played the Carabao Cup, I think, for Brentford. He's a big lump of a lad. He's only 20. So he's one of these guys that's been setting out for a bit of experience and gives it a bit of cover at the back. You think Scales and Trusty would still be the main men. I think Martin likes those two, but you need cover. I think that might allow Stephen Welsh now to go back to Motherwell for the remainder of the season, I would imagine.
He's still waiting to hear. He's in tender hooks, even with us. He's still not been given the okay to go back yet.
The Brentford one, I think I think that is pretty much well underway. The Benjamin Arthur in case, but there's still 50 minutes left in England. If a bid or a loan bid comes into England, he can still move within England. After 7, then it become a no-brainer to go to Scotland. So I think it might be a few minutes to hold fire to that one's nailed down for Celtic. And Welsh is waiting on tenterhooks for his phone call. And I expect that to go through now, Scott. If they can get Arthur over the line, it looks like no-brainer to go tomorrow, isn't it? He's still got a year left in his deal at Celtic as well. So I mean, I would imagine that'll be a loan just now because I mean Motherwell are not going to pay the same wages that Celtic pay for him. So that's going to be quite prohibitive. But if he goes and plays well, it might give him options in the summer, either back at Celtic or somewhere else. It would just make sense for him to play. That's all. So that would happen.
Do you know what would make sense to me, Mick? I swear to God, right? If you'd taken the money for Engels, 25 mil, go to Motherwell, say, do you know what? We'll take Elliot Watt, Elijah Just, and Masmanisi.
Yeah,
Take 3 of them. And then, by the way, you're still massively up on the deal.
Yeah, but there's no point for a loan deal for Steve Welsh because he says wages are prohibitive for Motherwell to go and give him a 4-year contract.
No, I'm just talking about this Celtic making their model work, getting a big offer for a player. And by the way, what's really interesting about it is Dermot Desmond seemed to veer away from the transfer strategy that Brendan Rodgers was wanting to put in place. And that was the summer when Engels arrives for £11 million and Celtic spent, 20-odd million on 3 players. Well, the Brendan Rodgers spending £11 million on Engels has now been completely vindicated.
Aye.
If Nottingham Forest are prepared to spend £25 million on him. So,
see, just going back to the centre half, Benjamin Arthur. I mean, I don't know what you think, Mick. What is the point in signing a youth team player from Brentford and letting Stephen Welsh go? Why not keep Stephen Welsh or develop one of your own young players? I mean, I don't really get in. Simpson Pusey left. Yeah. He's apparently doing all right in Bundesliga. It all seems just a bit strange.
Well, that one's one of the biggest mysteries, isn't it? The Simpson Pusey one rolled down as a bizarre kind of turn of events. I just think Steve Welsh is 25, 26 now. He's been at the club for 10 years. He's no longer a youngster. So he's not going to. You're talking about develop him. I don't think you're going to develop 26-year-old. So, and he's came close to going. He was a couple of loan spells. I think maybe, it's just maybe not going to be a long-term player at Celtic anymore. So getting out and getting games, put himself in the shop window for the summer. I say he's got another year to go, so he doesn't have to do anything. He can sit tight for another year if he wants to go on loan again. But he's got to get playing again, hasn't he? I mean, it's just cover. I mean, I know fans want a £6 million centre half walking through the door tonight, but they have got a £6 million centre half in Austin Trusty is back from suspension. And Liam Scales, for all he gets a bit of stick from some fans, he's had a pretty solid season, apart from that kind of 4-week mad window under Wilfred Nonsi when he was playing left wing.
But I can almost feel Burnsy agitating because his mobile phone's probably going crazy just now. Burnsy, what else you got? Now, when we were talking just before we came on, you think that Celtic was showing interest in a midfielder, which might have allowed the Engels deal to happen?
Well, certainly I was told that there was an interest in the Bromby midfielder, Benjamin Taharovic. So I don't know if maybe they had one eye on a possible Engels transfer, but that was one name that was mentioned to me. I know it was put into Celtic and there was some traction on it today. But I don't know if it's I was just told that there was interest from Celtic. I don't know how far it's gone, if it will advance any further, but that was one that was certainly mentioned today.
I wonder if that's one to keep an eye on then over the course of the next few hours, because if Nottingham Forest try again and they go any higher than they have, you wonder how long Celtic can resist that. And if they are making moves to source potential midfielders, it could be interesting.
I mean, Rebel